Howdy everyone, this is Mappa, this is Dime Society, and welcome back to episode number 27. We're here back at the Savannah Ranch, and yeah, I was kind of invisible. I don't know what happened. There's like one weird spot where you look at it, and you just kind of disappear. Oop, I'm not here. So anyway, this is what we worked on in last episode. This is the foods farm. We did the third layer to it. That was the beetroot, and then we also decorated up all of the area around it, and got all the drops over into the storage area over there. So now the rail's completely hidden. This area looks pretty nice. And now it's fully functional. It's pretty awesome. We actually have carrots completely overflown right now. So as of now, all the carrots that go through this are just being tossed. And where did the villager go? That might be an issue. I don't know where the villager went. Okay, well, I'll have to take a look at that in a little bit. But anyway, then coming over here, this is what I want to work on in today's episode. Kind of similar to this, at least in the sense that it is a farm for food. But essentially, we used lots of jack-o'-lanterns around here. And I don't want to keep you running to spawn to grab some, especially since spawn isn't always loaded and the farm isn't always operable. If we have one here, it'll always be operable as long as I'm in the area, and then won't have to go too far in order to get some. I also use quite a bit of melon blocks, so it'll be nice to have some of those as well. So a little bit ago, I had designed a farm for melon and pumpkin, and I'll leave a link down below to the tutorial, but that's what I want to be building over here. We've got plenty of area to do it. It's a really simple farm, and it actually does produce quite a bit. It's really, really compact, so we can fit lots of them into this small area. And I think all we'll do is kind of keep the same kind of bush going. You see how the path that's actually being changed over to path block right now kind of has like this bush going right along it. I really like that. I'm going to do the same thing over here coming along, probably up to about here, and then turn back. And then this whole area is going to be possibly dug down just a little bit so that we can fit in all the different farms. And then just be kind of like that one melon and pumpkin area. And then we'll decorate up around it and kind of make it look just like a pumpkin patch. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and start running around the trim because I do kind of need to size this thing out just to plan out where everything's going to go. Well, I ran out of leaves, but we have the actual area now sketched out with the wood. Just got to get a bit more then to cover up all that going back there. This area doesn't have anything in it. We might just do kind of like what we did over here and just have a little bit of kind of like a nature look. I don't know if we can fit anything in there or not. We might be able to. I think I'm just going to leave it for now. But anyway, in here's where it's all going to get dug down, and we can't just be having a wall right here where it goes into the path block like that. So I thought instead maybe we'd just use some stone half slabs. I don't know if this would work better or if the polished andesite would look better. This kind of fits in with the building across from it, although that does use the polished andesite. So if we just bring these up, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It kind of creates a wall, but I don't know if it's just too bright of a color and stands out too much. We can always change it over to the other one, but I think I'm just going to leave it as this for now. One thing that's really nice, though, about taking this out is I get tons of grass because I have a silk touch shovel, which is going to help with finishing off the paths. This one is now done, but we still have to do this one going back there, and then we still have the one that goes over to kind of like the mining tunnel area over there. So that's kind of still a bit to do, but this is going to help out a lot. And this might actually just be enough grass to actually finish all that. So that's pretty cool. But now I've got actually some digging to do. And then, I'm going to have to let all the grass grow down here. Okay, so I've changed up the area just a bit here. You can see that I did swap over the half slabs now for the andesite. I think it looks a lot better. I tried both, and this is definitely my favorite. Although I did still use the half slabs for kind of a step down. Now, we don't actually have to be walking into here, because this is going to be a fully automatic farm. However, I just felt like it'd be nice just to be able to use both of them here. It'll be kind of nice to also be able to see into here, because this is going to be a really short farm. Like, it only goes up maybe another block or two, whereas the one across from it, this goes really tall. So we could have, you know, just like no way to get in. We'll still be able to see everything. It'll be just fine. Over here, that's not really the case, though. It's the same reason I've used these fences out front instead of using the bushes. I did want to use the bushes to match this side, although, again, it would just be a lot better to be able to see into it and be able to see right through it. Leaves, I mean, you kind of can, but I think the fences just work quite a bit better. Now going along the outside, this one back here is the original one that I had in from before. Finished it off with the leaves going all the way back there. And then coming along here, then I just left some of the grass along here, bone milled it up, and then lit it up with the jack-o'-lanterns, and then with the leaves on top of it. So nothing will be able to spawn there, and we'll still be able to kind of keep that natural look as it just kind of slowly slopes down. And then I added one more line going around here, and it's the exact same deal. We've got the oak wood down below and then the leaves on top just to get kind of like that bush look. I think that'll work pretty nicely. It does mean that we have a slightly smaller ring now instead of going all the way back, but I think it just works so much better than just having like the dirt wall that we had before, or if it came all the way back, just having, you know, like the oak wood block and then this. I tried also pushing these down and having like two going up, and just nothing I was trying looked right. So I think this will work the best. And now on the inside, because it is a little bit smaller, it changes what I wanted to do just a little bit. Before, I was planning on having like 4 little blocks going along for the farm, having like 4 fruits going next to each other, and then them all coming up, and then just having those dotted a lot around here, maybe have like 6 or 7 of them. This one, though, just going to be one line of, I think it's 12 across maybe, of both of them. So for one pumpkin, one melon, and then they'll all be harvested in one area. It'll get about the same, it's just going to look slightly different, and it'll fit to the area just a little bit better. Okay, so now here we have the dugout area, and most of the farm is actually done. Like I said, this is a really simple farm to build, but we have a line here going of pumpkin seeds, line here going of melon seeds, and then they're going to grow on top up here. We just need to chuck some dirt on top of these pistons, and these are all going to fire what would have been a minecart. Usually a minecart would go over this track here, and it would hit a detector rail powering all the redstone and essentially doing this. I don't actually have the rails in yet, and I think I might actually use hoppers, because if you look at the other side, we're really close to the path right here. If I use just like the normal minecart here, and then have stuff push off, because we're going to have a piston at that height there, and then a block right there, which is actually going to be glass so that that doesn't kill the crop, but it's going to push right on top of here. We don't want it to push too far, so we'd have to have blocks right there. That's really close to the steps. I don't like how that looks. So I think instead we're going to change this over to hoppers. So for now I'm just testing everything with a button, because if we use hoppers, then we don't actually have to have these blocks here, because they're just going to go right over and get picked up by the hopper right away, and they won't actually have a chance to escape. So that'll be a way of just kind of keeping it a lot cleaner. In the original design, I used minecarts just to keep it really cheap and really simple and kind of have like multiple purpose, because the collection, the minecart hopper, is also the way of activating it, which I thought was a pretty cool thing to do. However, in this case, yeah, we're going to have to change that ever so slightly. So obviously it works the same on this side. This redstone line then needs to come up and needs to hook up with this redstone line here, because this is where all the pistons are going to go to actually push all of the fruit back onto the what's going to be hopper line. So if we have those there, and we're going to have glass on top of that, and then when we have the blocks going down below, that'll be right there, because the fruit needs to grow on top of a dirt block. It's going to get pushed up, get pushed over onto here. So we need to line up this now with this. So I think, and I have this open on my other screen so I get all the alignment right, but I'll probably still manage to mess it up. I think we go like this, and then two more looks like, and then a repeater like that. That'll go into a block, and holy cow, I think we actually did this right, so it'll be the same thing on this side. Okay, that was quite a bit easier than I thought it was going to be. I assumed I was going to mess it up, but then if we just hit one button here, that should work. Great, and then we should do the same thing over here. Awesome, okay. So we're going to have to change up this just a little bit when we get the timer in. That'll go in the middle. We're going to have to power, I think, from that side instead of this side. So it shouldn't be a huge change, but it will just be a minor change. We could probably even change this up a little bit and just make it coming from the center, but I'll have to adjust that in just a little bit, because now I'm just going to figure out getting the rest of this in and where to actually put all that timer and stuff and what kind of timer to use, because I think hopper timers don't work too well. I think when you unload the chunks and then load them back up, the timer actually stops. I'll give it a shot, and if it becomes an issue, of course, in the future I can change it. The one at spawn for this farm, the pumpkin and melon towers that I built at spawn, I did have to change it to a block update detector, or like a smart, actually I think it's a smart piston technically. We wait for a crop to grow, and then that powers the redstone line and powers the whole farm. So we might have to do that here, but hopefully just a normal redstone hopper clock will work. And now the farm is fully operational. You can see I did have to modify the redstone ever so slightly because of the update detector. I decided to just go with this instead of the piston hopper clock. I thought this wouldn't break, whereas the other one, we're actually risking it breaking. So I thought I'd just skip right away to this so we don't have to worry about that in the future. This was actually a lot easier to build too, so that should work pretty nicely, especially since this is going to be a full-grown crop. It's going to grow. By the time this is grown, we should have a lot grown out here, because they should all grow at approximately the same rate. So that might work quite a bit better than having a hopper timer just pushing it and messing with the rates that way. So in doing this, it's really simple how it works. Let's see, let's grab the pumpkin here. When this grows from that stalk, you can see everything that happens up here. That goes over like that, and then we're just going to grab that so we can test it again. But when that goes down, let's see, let's just cover that back up there. When this grows, this goes here. It'll power that redstone because we've got power coming from this side. That's going to power this block, which then powers this piston, which shoots it out and cancels it and waits for it to grow again. But also, this little redstone dust here powers this block, and both of them have repeaters on the other side underneath that block. I don't know if you can actually see that. Yeah, a little bit. You can kind of see in there. And then the redstone line comes right along the back. Hello! And then that does the exact same thing then on the other side, and you are a pain to kill. So that does the same thing on the other side, and then it also has a block right here with the repeater on the other side, and the redstone goes all the way down and goes right up to here. This is the same circuits that we had before, just now instead of coming from two sides, it only comes from one right in the middle. Then I also chucked a couple of half slabs in the middle like this, and that's just to stop any spawning from down there. Now, along here, there's a skeleton as well. Hello. Goodbye. So that's to stop any spawning down there, but we can still get spawns up here. Now, stopping spawns along this should be pretty easy. We're just going to have lots of jack-o'-lanterns in the ground with the leaves on top of them. However, up here, we can't really do that. So I think the best way to stop it from up here is putting half slabs on top of these pistons. Now doing that, and we'd have to do that here as well actually, just for symmetry. I don't think it's actually going to affect anything, but yeah, for symmetry purposes we are going to. I don't think they'll be able to spawn here. They can spawn on redstone. However, having these, I think, stops the actual barrier, because I'm pretty sure now in 1.9, they cannot spawn next to something with a bounding box. I think that's how it works. If we start getting spawns, obviously we'll have to change that, but that's really the only way that I can think of that actually looks pretty decent. Because if we could put glass too, but that would look probably kind of weird because it's so big, and we could put a block on top of it, a half slab or a piece of glass, but again, that would go up pretty high. It wouldn't really be connected to anything. It would just kind of look pretty odd. They could spawn down here, I think. However, that shouldn't be a huge issue, I hope. I'll try to keep the light levels good so that that won't happen. And I just realized we're probably getting, we're getting some rotten flesh in here. Probably the same on that side as well. So really, this farm is operational. We just have to get everything grown up now. And I'm just going to let it go as I'm decorating this area. And we'll see how high I can get so I don't waste any bone meal. But I'm glad it started raining. Because, well, first off, in the savanna, it doesn't actually rain. It just kind of gets cloudy. But look at this. As soon as we get this guy gone, because of the kind of nice lighting that we have around here, it looks pretty cool. I really, really like how it looks when it's storming out. Everything's like gloomy, but it's still pretty bright. Like this, I don't know, this is just a really cool shot for me. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and keep working. We're really close to getting the farm done now. We do actually, after this, though, have to get something growing back. And it looks like we got the first one to actually grow. I didn't think that was actually done. Okay, well, did I place that? No, awesome. All right. Now, is it just me? Or is this not right? I'm pretty sure the stems used to be brown when they're fully grown. And I don't have any bone meal on me right now, but those things are, as far as I know, all the way up. I kept bone meal on them. They wouldn't go anywhere. And you see, it's growing a pumpkin. It says age 7. I don't know. Does it go up to 8? Does it go up to 7? I'm not sure. But it would not let me do anything. So, I mean, I guess it's fully grown and clearly it works. So now we're just waiting. Let's see, do we have anything growing on this side? We do not. So now we're just waiting for this one to grow here. Again, that's fully grown. Just looks green. But whenever that grows, this whole farm will power, and then we'll toss stuff into these hoppers here. I have tested it one time, and there were, again, no melons growing at that point, but there were a few pumpkins, and it works pretty well. Obviously, it just chucks them all in. I think it's really cool to be using the hoppers instead of the minecarts, because we don't have to have those blocks out here. I think that really would have taken away from it. But apart from this, looks like we've actually got pretty much everything done. All we have to do now is just get the items over. I'm going to do that in between episodes, though. That's pretty boring and kind of just completely underground. Doesn't look very good, and it's completely hidden, so there's really no point in me doing it right now. But anyway, yeah, this whole area now, it's kind of looking pretty natural. I kind of wanted it to look like a pumpkin patch. I think we got that down a little bit. I was considering putting water back here, but then I realized we'd be seeing the wood underneath, so not going to do that. I think I'm just going to leave it like this for now. We might get some water up here, though, at some point. It just depends on what else all goes around here. But the whole point of kind of doing up this area, making it look a bit overgrown, is because this is quite an industrial-looking build. There's a lot of gray, and then there's the whites from this. There's lots of gray down there, some redstone, the dark gray from the hoppers. Altogether, it is a very kind of bland-looking build, very industrial-looking. And although this kind of is an industrial-looking ranch, not by choice, but just kind of by build style, we just want to kind of cover that up a little bit. So by hiding more of the industrial look, kind of make it look overgrown, it looks a little bit better. At least in my opinion, it does. If you're walking past, I think it just looks a lot nicer. Kind of looks more like a greenhouse than some kind of industrial farm. But yeah, the farm is actually fully operational now. All we have to do is actually get all the drops over into the storage area down there. And here we go. That's the last path block that we actually had to do. Yeah, the dual wielding is kind of weird, but it's really helpful for this type of thing. Walking around here, now we completely have path blocks, which is what y'all wanted. You said it fits the savanna just a bit better, and I couldn't agree more. I think this looks really cool, especially from like right here when we got like kind of like the crossroads type of deal here, and that goes down there. We got different paths going. I really like that, but we've got plenty of open room still, which means I think we're going to be working out here for the next couple of episodes. We should soon get back up to the horse sanctuary. I've got a few ideas for that, and I can't wait to get to those as well. I really should be also riding a horse around. That would have been really helpful for coming over here. I totally forgot that I had horses. I don't know how that's even possible. I'm on a ranch, and yet I forget I have horses. But anyway, yeah, I think this place is looking really, really cool. I'm really kind of happy with how this house is going along. So anyway, let me know what you think down below. Anyway, this has been MoppBot, and I'll see y'all next time.